Good morning, everybody. Portrait demonstration today. This is one of my very favorite subjects to paint. I'm working from a reference photo today. This is my reference photo. And I have already sketched it out. Still working a little bit on it. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, so what I'm looking at when I choose a photo reference for my work, especially with portraits, is to find something that has a lot of shadowing on the face. Because us painters really need that value difference. This is how we create this illusion of space on our canvas. This is, by the way, today I'm working on this really cool wood surface. I successfully worked on it without having to prime it. You can do oils on them as well. So whatever surface you work on, doesn't matter really, canvas, paper, wood, anything, it's all about tricking the eye to perceive something that is on a 2D surface to make it look three-dimensional. And we artists use value contrast to create this illusion of space. So those photos that you take at a photographer or with a flash light that can be really beautiful photography with all just flat whites on the face. That's really hard. If this other side would have been the same, it's really hard to bring that volume up in painting. So not every photo works well in painting. Sometimes I do a lot of portrait commissions, and I'm always advising the client, if you send me a variety of photos, make sure some of them have some shadows on them too. Because if you look from a photo perspective, maybe you would think this photo is not that great, because half of the face is in the dark. But for painting, it's just great. All right, so I've been, what I'm putting here, first I'm just, the reason I'm sketching out is to just get my proportions in place. Doesn't matter to be too precise. I can be really loose with this. It's more just to give a little bit of placement for what I'm about to paint. So I don't care to do too much detail work. It's just, especially where the value changes. You see value changes, I will make a mark here. The value change from dark to light. Then I make a mark of it. But here in the corner of the mouth, even if it doesn't make so much sense here, for me are those indicators that I need to create, these illusions of space. Okay, great. Let's put some color, some paint on. I have no idea how I want to do it today. I'm just gonna go a little bit with the flow, put a variety of paint here. And maybe some of them I won't even use. In order to have the most fun to me is to just release some of the expectations and play. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I am willing to play. I think the difference, and I've been discussing this in my classes before with my students, I teach painting classes for adults. I met over 700 people through my painting classes so far. So I lost my track of thought. I forgot what I wanted to say. I'll come back. It will come back to me. All right, I put some paint. Let me see. Let me see. I have something dark that's really helpful, something colorful. Good. And I have, like, I'm looking at it right now. It was just a random placement and selection, really. But I'm missing from the blues. I have, this is a really dark green. And that's cool. Let's go with something like that. Let's do something different. In my videos before, I was working with primary colors, so you can basically build the entire color wheel. But today, trying something different, more like neighboring colors, purples, pinks, reds, and then maybe a little bit into the orange. All right. Let's see what we can come up with today. All right, so I'm coming with this with no plan, but a plan would start and come as I start painting and playing, ideas will come. And this is the intuitive painting approach that I have an actual workshop designed to investigate more in this type of approach. So I find that sometimes artists have a hard time figuring out what is it to paint, what to paint, because there's so many possibilities out there, really infinite possibilities. And approaching your painting in a playful way and not necessarily having a plan could lead to very cool, interesting discoveries. So that's my approach today. I'm using acrylics and water as my medium, nothing else. And it doesn't even have to, you don't even have to think of skin tones or anything like that. I'm just thinking mostly value. Color, love color. This may end up being completely covered with something else, and that's cool. I remember what I wanted to say. What I've noticed by working with so many art lovers who take my classes is that the difference between the professional painter and the hobbyist painter, they both can achieve really great results with their work. But what I noticed that the main difference is that the professional artist, because paints a lot, and the hobbyist paints only for, mostly for fun, doesn't invest a lot of time in it. They're more concerned about creating a really great piece, while the professional artist knows is going to create way more other pieces, so they're more relaxed concerning the outcome. They know that if it doesn't turn out, they can just throw it away and start another piece, and they know they will do it. It's a certainty, it's not just a thought. So they're slightly more relaxed in their approach to painting. And I'm inviting my participants in my workshops to take a similar approach and not make it be so much about the product, but really truly learn to enjoy the process. And that's a really hard thing to do, because especially here in the West, we really educated like that. We oriented in our culture towards product results. Those matter a lot here. So it's a practice, and I practice it too. Sometimes I do get caught up in wanting to create something great. Usually doesn't work that well. This is what I've noticed. All right, so I'm playing with a variety of colors here. I like to have these side conversations because I really think it makes a big difference, the context of which you are creating from. So even if I'm not addressing exactly what I'm, talking about the brush strokes or the technical parts, all these conversations about how to think of painting, how to approach, or ways to, not even so much how to, but the ways in which you could approach it, that's very important conversations to have. And those kind of conversation made a really big difference for my students, for them achieving really interesting results. Some of my students went on submitting their work to competition, won awards. They never even thought of it like that. So that just to say that they are recognized results. And mostly they really enjoy painting. Which I think is the biggest benefit out of this. Truly create a state of enjoyment, of well-being, I might call it. Getting darker here on this side, matching my darker values. If you have any questions, by the way, just post them in a comment. I love to start up conversations talking about art. And I'm like, it's really choppy. Whatever I'm doing here is just, keep turning my brush around. It's almost like sculpting somehow this shape. This yellow came in as a complete accident, but I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm being present with my painting here. Almost like in a dance, a sort of tango. The painting leads, if I may say that. Painting leads a little bit by me randomly applying, just focused on value only. And then I give a response to what I see happening here. So it's a sort of a play like that, back and forth play, bringing an intention to it, releasing control, gaining control, releasing, gaining, back and forth like that, like a dance. Like one leads, then the other one leads, like in tango. A lot of spontaneity in this approach. I find it truly enjoyable to work like this. I'm using the corner of my brush if I want to put anything more detailed instead of grabbing a smaller brush. I'm actually just using the same brush, just on the side. It's so interesting how this turned out in sort of the bluish shade. I don't know how well that's seen on the camera, but I don't have any blue on my palette here. It's the blue from the green, because green is made out of blue and yellow, and a little bit of a blue from this purple. This purple is made out of blue and red. That somehow brought together in this mix between my purple and my dark green here. Bring some shades, some bluish shades. I'm just noticing, it doesn't really mean anything in particular. Maybe here it needs to get a little bit darker. This corner is really dark too. Something needs to happen here. And I can post this photo in a comment if you want to use it to give it a shot yourself. I'm going to post my reference photo for you to use. And then you can share your results. I created a Facebook page called Diana Toma's Demos, videos or something like that, where if you want to keep them organized in one place, you can post there the artworks that you do out of this play. Meet some other people too. I saw some really beautiful work. I'm so excited, guys, that you feel inspired to paint in this like really crazy, challenging, unknown times that we are going through these days. To just refine and use painting as a way to express yourself, as a pastime. I love seeing all of your work that these videos inspired. Starting getting somewhere. It's too light. Ha! Look at this connection here. Way, and you know what else really helps is to squint. It's one of the most helpful things you can do, because you filter all the unnecessary details and you get to see more of an overall view of all these values. This darker. The only thing you want to keep in mind a little bit is not losing your drawing completely. So when I'm building up all these values, I'm keeping an eye on I still want to see the drawing underneath, or at least build it in such a way that I understand what goes where in terms of anatomy here. Chop, chop, chop. Just little squares. What else here? Change the colors a little bit. Squinting. Whenever I get lost or something's not looking too great, I just squint and look back and forth with my reference to see what went, what's not in the right place. It's very liberating and freeing to not care much about the final result. But and that doesn't even mean you won't get great results. You just are not obsessed with control. That's also like this sort of a play that gets released when you give up control a little bit. It's really beautiful. Like it actually ends up having greater results, in my opinion, than when you try to control everything. Corner of this mouth inside is pretty dark. I love painting portraits. I don't know why. That is very enjoyable. You can portray an emotion. Squinting. Here it needs to get darker. This is too light here. The nostril here, so I'm gonna have to come back and see if we can bring some of that on this side too. Maybe that's too dark there. Maybe, baby. Do you have this thing that when you say certain phrases, it reminds you of words in songs? Because I have this thing and sometimes it's annoying. And sometimes a lot of fun. All right, I'm going somewhere. I think it's time to wash the brush. It's the first time I washed the brush since I started painting. Let's get more of these lighter values here. Again, everything with painting is relational, like what sits next to what. You can only find out if you got the right values after you actually painted almost everything, because everything relates with each other. It's only as a relationship. It doesn't, there is no value in itself. It's always what it relates to. Something here maybe. The chin needs to get darker there, higher. So let's try to do that. Chin darker here, neck lighter. All right, I think it's time for me to grab another brush so I can do some of the details there. But wait, I just saw that this was missing there. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna grab one of these rigger brushes. Just want to do some of these details in here, like the pupil. Putting a couple of different colors in it. Never just one, always look more rich and interesting. See if we can get a little bit of, if you have lighter eyes, usually your iris is contoured by something darker. And then I can also put a bit of this light. There's some little where the shape changes, a little bit of, it catches more light. Right here. Maybe see if I can get a really light pink. So it won't be completely white. Catches in some spots here and there. This is too low. Let's see if I can lift up a little bit. Here is the inside corner of the eye, but it's in the shadow, so it doesn't catch too much light, even if it's the white of the eye. The good thing with acrylic is that it dries fairly quick, so you can still pile up on top. Without worrying about the color underneath mixing with your new color. That was nice. Still need to get this corner slightly lighter though. Something like that. Maybe that light is just too strong there. Let's see what we're gonna do with the eyelashes. I really love that on one side the eyelashes are darker here because it's on top of the white of the lighter side of the face. I'm not gonna paint each, but rather just give some impression of them with some lines, even against the shape. Like instead of going like this, you go across. And then in this other side, the eyelashes are actually lighter, catching some of the light on them. It's kind of a cool play. Lighter on this side, darker on the other. Love the nose here. I really like that. I don't know what's happening here. Something's not quite right there. Let's see the mouth. I think it needs a little bit of more like constructing here shape. Mouth is slightly open. Yes, I'm loving this. Start forming, building here. the shape. My eye is really going everywhere. Keep checking. Keep scanning it for value. It's sort of funny because by the time I get to, I think about it, and by the time I say it out loud, I've already moved somewhere else. Some of those hair strands. Something like that maybe over here. Now it's like more fine-tuning, squinting a lot. Just going all the way around and see what's missing. Maybe here we can bring a little bit more light in this corner here. Understanding anatomy is really helpful when painting portraits, but if you don't have a lot of experience with drawing and anatomy and stuff like that, then just focus on value. And you can even turn your portrait upside down and paint by just slowly focusing on value, forgetting that even that you're painting a portrait. That helps. So you basically just really match what you see in your reference photo in terms of values. This might be too strong here. Some things are happening here. I want to show that I'm building a little bit of this nose bridge, but ever so slightly, not too much, just to indicate. Although the plan goes up, goes straight, goes back, down. What you think? Picasso said the work of art is never finished, it's only abandoned. And I so understand what he's saying, because you could work on it forever, literally. But if you approach it from a more playful perspective, then you can say, when I finish playing and I feel like I thoroughly played, then I can stop. And that's when my work is finished. It's when I finished playing. When I'm satisfied with the experience of play. I make it be about play rather than some destination you need to reach. When you go in vacation, you don't just want to reach the destination, right? It's not about that. It's the whole journey there. That's what attracts us. The adventure, the journey. There's it's a variety of colors in there. kind of like how the nose turned out being more yellow. Just bring it up like that. Yellow is also a warmer color that helps bring things forward. We perceive everything warmer coming forward. It's a rule in painting, and everything cooler, it's receding, it's going farther. You don't have to use that rule, but sometimes you really see the principles of it being applied in your painting without you even wanting to. All right, I don't know. I think I've played enough. I can definitely continue and have more, adding more to all this, but I also want to keep this video pretty short and sweet. And hopefully I inspired you to give it a shot to do a portrait painting. And some people are intimidated by that. It's same as painting anything else. And you'll give it a shot, you'll give it a try. Why not? What's there to lose? Nothing. So, if you enjoyed this and you feel inspired to support me, I added PayPal link on the description of this video, on the capture of this video. Happy Friday, everybody. I'll see you on Facebook. Bye-bye. Close the video and your screen disappeared. Hope you enjoyed.